For these reasons, I can no longer call myself a progressive. I don't really call myself a Democrat either.
I'm going to get into criticizing this video from Dave Rubin as quickly as possible. If you guys are not interested in me or my position or why I'm making this video, I guess you could skip ahead, but it seems kind of important to disclose my own bias or my own interest or where I stand in as few words as possible before I get into these specifics. I'm a critic of the left. This YouTube channel, if you subscribe to it, is going to contain more criticism of the left. But I see there's a current anti-left-wing movement that from my perspective is completely detached from reality, and some of the most vocal leaders of opinion in this movement, strangely, are former members of left-wing organizations and parties. One of the delusions is that the left is now worse than it was just a few decades ago. This is said again and again so easily, apparently with no evidence taken into consideration aside from, oh, those pesky SJWs on Twitter. Can you believe this outrageous post I saw on Facebook? Please, please, I'm only 39, but I can remember when making excuses for mass murder in China and Russia were the definitive hallmarks of the left. I grew up with that. I grew up surrounded by people who, on the one hand, were making excuses for the worst atrocities committed by communism, even for just the poverty and starvation, intermittent starvation that existed in communist countries, and on the other hand, who were engaged in lionizing labor union leaders and trying to make the general strike into the basis of social progress. It is just not true that the left has gotten worse within my lifetime or your lifetime if you're anyone watching this video. The left has gotten better. The internet may have gotten worse. The internet may have given voices to people who before never had a shot in hell at having their opinion on the 6 o'clock news. I think the world's a better place, not a worse place, because now at least those people have a chance to meet one another, have their views challenged, look up facts on Wikipedia. I think the whole world, step by step, is actually getting less ignorant. But it's true, it's also getting more self-righteous. But if you think, oh, if only you could go back to the glory days of the 1980s and the left-wing movement, I really wonder, is this what you're looking back at? Are you looking back at the old days of people straight up making excuses to your face for Mao Zedong massacring people in Tibet? That's the left wing I grew up with. And when I look at Bernie Sanders is wrong about some things. But Bernie Sanders is right about and willing to address such a list of fundamentally important things that I can never have addressed by conservatives of the right. I'm not in a position to reject the left and take up a better alternative. The position I'm in is either I engage with the left as a critic trying to address what's wrong with it, which you're going to see on this YouTube channel, or I can set up my own tiny, pathetic political party and work really hard to maybe get 500 votes and maybe get a certain kind of platform, or message, into the newspapers and get people, a few hundred people, a few thousand people to think about things from a slightly different political perspective. That's what's possible in my lifetime. Those are my options. If I go knocking on the door of the Conservative Party, are they going to talk to me about ecology? Are they going to talk to me about indigenous peoples, indigenous life? Are they going to talk to me serious about education reform, healthcare, just the cost of tuition in universities? There's such a checklist of things. Bernie Sanders didn't have to work hard. Bernie Sanders, just by mentioning how important these issues were, got a huge gust of public opinion in his sails. There's tremendous popular enthusiasm for a left-wing figure like Bernie Sanders, despite everything you may say that's wrong with him. That's the era we're living with, when I can at least say the left has the potential to make positive change. And when I look at the right and conservatives, I see no such potential.
Dun, 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 dun.